The Marius Quad CI dive computer. This is a very innovative computer that takes the Marius Serious and the Marius Genius and it puts them together. Not only is this a typical nitrox computer, but it will also do tri-mix as well. And on top of that, it is an air integrated computer as well. It's very lightweight. It comes in several different configurations, and it's an all-around great computer for beginners all the way up to the tech level. So let's take a deep dive and look at the Marius Quad CI dive computer and see what all it has to offer. What's up, guys? This is Brian again from Lake Hickory Scuba and Marina. If you are new to our channel, do me a huge favor. Hit this little subscribe button over here and ding that little bell as well. That way you guys are going to be notified every time we upload new content. Now we're going to take a closer look at the Marius Quad CI dive computer, and we're going to look at all the features and all the functionalities of it as well. And then I'm going to give you some pointers of how you can make this an even better computer than what it already is. So with that being said, let's jump into today's video and review the Marius Quad CI dive computer. All right, taking a closer look at what all comes with the computer itself, you're going to get the Quad CI, which is a very thin line, very lightweight computer as well. You're going to get this large computer strap, so it's going to work good for thicker wetsuits and if you are diving a dry suit. Looking in the back, of course, you've got a soft bag here that you can stow it away in. You are going to get a charging cable and a clip. Now, the charging cable and the clip is what's going to connect to this side of the computer here, to these connectors. And of course, you can charge your computer or you can run it straight to your, say, laptop or something of that sort to download your dives. Now, the great thing about this, you don't actually need the clip to download that information. This has a Bluetooth built-in technology that allows you to transfer it straight to your phone or the dive app of your choice, of course. And then, of course, you are going to have some spare bungee here. Now, the bungee is one of the things that I personally like because you can actually replace these straps with the bungee if you want to make it even more streamlined. But let's take a quick look at the internal features of it and see just how easy it is to operate. All right, guys, taking an in-depth look here, the Marius Quad CI is a 4-button computer, and each of these buttons are going to do 2 to 3 functions per press. So this button up here, this is your menu button and the enter button. So if you want to select something, that's the button you're going to hit. This is your up button. This is also how you go into your log, and it's also the light button. So if you want to turn your light on mid-dive, you can as well. Down here on the bottom, this is your display and the back function. That way you can back out of something, or if you want to change your display. And then, of course, this button down here, this is the down scrolling through a menu button. And of course, it's your gas management and your plan button as well. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this computer on, and it's very simple. You just hit any of the buttons, it's automatically going to come on. As I stated, this button up here is the light button, so as I press it, you'll notice that the screen lights up. Now, this is going to be your actual surface screen here before a dive, and there's several different functionalities that we can see here. Obviously, we've got a time here. We've also got our gradient factors built in, and you're going to have a main gradient factor and an alternate gradient factor. And then you're also going to have your battery power here. This one here is at 67%. Of course, it is currently set up for air, but you can set this up for nitrox or even trimix if you would like. It will do multiple gases. But if we go into the menu button over here, all we're going to do is just click on it. And of course, we've got a stopwatch feature. So this is going to be great for instructors who are timing students, doing certain skill sets, things like that. I'm going to hit the back button and back out. And then I'm going to press and hold to go into the menu feature as well. Now, there's several different things in this menu. I can change my dive settings. I can change my safety settings. Of course, I can go in the individual parameters of the computer itself. I can go into the computer functionality itself. I can go into the logbook itself. I can go into the planner mode. And of course, the info, this is where you're going to get a bunch of different info as far as serial numbers, things like that. Or I can go in and turn on Bluetooth. And the cool thing with Bluetooth, it will connect directly to your phone. But we're going to jump into the dive settings and see what all is involved there. We've got mode. If we go into mode, of course, this is where we can change it from air to nitrox multiple gas to trimix, or if we just want to go into bottom timer, we can do that as well. Back and back out, we've got algorithm. If we go into algorithm, this is where we can go in and we can personalize the computer itself. So if I want to turn on multi-day or if I want to turn on repetitive dives, I can. Of course, I can go in and personalize it to my personal health and status and things like that. I can change my alternate gradient factors and my main gradient factors as well. I can go in here to seal and control decode. Now this is for tech divers here. This is for tech divers who have really good buoyancy control as well. But you can go in, you can change it into multi-gas. You can change what your individual decode stops are going to be. So if you want your final decode stop to say be 10 feet or 20 feet, you can go in, you can change that out as well. And then of course there is a future decode on here as well. And this is kind of like a predictive decode. This is where your computer is going to kind of predict what you do based off your dive profiles. Back out of that, we're going to go over to the safety features. Now, the cool thing here is you can turn these on or off based off your own personal preference. Of course, you can do an ascent violation if you want to have that on. You can turn all your warnings off. You can silence everything on there. And of course, you can erase the DSAT if you need to. Now, I obviously would recommend you not erasing the DSAT, but this is where you can go in. If somebody needs to use a computer, you're not going to be making another dive. You can erase your DSAT, hand it to them, and it works great for training purposes as well. Moving over into the individual parameters, this is where we can do our gas integration. Yes, this computer is an air integrated computer. We can connect it to a transmitter. We can go in and change between, say, freshwater and saltwater. Getting into the backlight, this is one of my features that I like here. A lot of times I will push this to on and off. That means when I turn it on, the light's going to stay on until I turn it off. Obviously, if I go to auto, it's going to stay on for a couple of seconds and then go off. So I actually like to turn mine on to on and off. Compass time, this is where you're going to set up how long you want your compass to display in dive mode. So as you're swimming around, you can turn your compass on. It usually runs 5 to 10 seconds and then cuts off, but you can have it just like the backlight to where it comes on and stays on till you turn it off. Of course, you can turn deep stop on and off, and then surfacing mode's another cool feature on this. I think I currently got mine set up for like 3 minutes. That means once you're at the surface, you need to remain at the surface for 3 minutes before it will actually calculate another dive. So as an instructor, if I'm just coming up to help a student here or there, it will still register the same dive until, say, that time. But you can set that time to anything you want it to be. So if we click through there, you'll see currently this one's set for 3 minutes, but you can go up to, I think, all the way up to 10 minutes, and it'll still register the same dive. Back out, we are going to go to the computer itself. This is where we're going to go in and change the individual computer settings, such as language, units. If you want to go from metric to imperial, you can change your clock to read 24-hour or 12-hour. You can actually go in and change the brightness of the screen. Obviously, the brighter it gets, the more your battery is going to run down. And this is where you can set up your compass based off what hemisphere you're in, and you can also calibrate your compass as well. Going over to the logbook feature. Now, obviously, this is a brand new computer here. There's no logs that's been put in, but this is where you'd access your logbook. And also this button up here, if you're on the main surface screen, you can press and hold on it, and it will automatically go into the log feature as well. Moving over into plan mode, you can go in, you can plan recreational dives, you can plan technical dives with this, and you can put all your parameters in. So if you're using air, nitrox, or trimix, how deep you want to go, you can set your PPO2, you can set all that. And based off the settings of where you're doing your stops, it will actually create you a profile as well, just like your dive planning software will do, of where your individual stops and how long they need to be are going to be as well. Info, as we stated earlier, this is where we're going to go in. You can see the serial number, when the computer was created, all that. And then, of course, Bluetooth. If you turn your Bluetooth on, of course, it will connect with the Mariz app and the SSI app as well. That's going to allow you to change even more settings. It's also going to allow you to do updates, and it's going to allow you to download all your dives as well. Couple little last minute features. We did talk about this button up here. If you click it once, of course, it goes into stopwatch mode. If you press and hold, it is going to go into the menu settings there. This button up here, if you press it once, this is going to go into your gradient factors. It's the same menu that we had under the algorithm section there. And then, of course, if you press and hold, it will go into the log feature as well. Bottom button down here, this is going to go into pre-dive mode. So this is what's called the simple mode when you're diving. There is a more complex mode if you're doing, say, technical diving, but this is kind of like a pre-dive button there if you want it to click in as soon as the computer gets wet. And then, of course, if you come down here on the bottom, this will go directly into Bluetooth if you didn't want to scroll through the settings. And of course, it will also go into how to change your gases on the fly without actually going through the settings itself. All right, guys, so there's two final features that I want to show you on this computer really quick. The first one's going to be this bottom button where it says display and back. If you were to scroll through the display screen, obviously it's going to go from your service mode into your dive mode as well. However, if you press and hold that button, it's going to go straight into your compass. And two cool things about the compass. One, it's tilt compensating. So no matter which way you hold it or which way it's oriented on your wrist, it's always going to read properly. It's not like an analog compass where you got to hold that thing level just to get it to work. So it's a tilt compensating compass. And as you notice, it is on a timer. You can change that to where it's just on and off. You turn it on, you turn it off, or you can leave it on timer mode where it goes off after so many seconds. Now, in the dive mode itself, you can either get it to where it shows full screen or where it'll just show in one of the quadrants of the computer itself. So it's not going to take up the whole screen if you don't want it to. And then, of course, the last feature is this little QR code right here. This is how you gain access to the user manual. No matter where you're at, you just simply pull out your phone, scan that QR code, and then the user manual is just going to come right up, and it's going to help you review all the different features and how to use this computer as well. Now, my suggestion is to scan the QR code, download the manual, and save it as a PDF on your phone. That way you're always going to have it whether you have internet access or not. But yeah, it's an absolutely cool little feature to be able to walk around with a digital user manual and not have to have a paper book that's going to get wet and probably get damaged if you carry it with you. All right, guys, to end this video out, let's talk about the transmitter. There is a transmitter that is sold separate. This is an air integrated computer, and you can get the transmitter so that you can read your air pressure on the computer itself. It's going to come in color code, and it's going to show color code on here as well. Not quite like the Genius does, but it will let you know, obviously, when you're getting low, and you can set presettings in there to let you know what your reserve gas is and all that. I personally don't use the air transmitter or the air integrated function, so I actually leave mine turned off. And if you're going to dive it the way I do, make sure you leave that function turned off so that you don't run your battery down quicker than what it should. Speaking of battery life, I can get on average about 3 weeks of solid diving. That means recreational diving every single day. I can go 3 weeks before I need to charge it, sometimes a little bit longer depending on how deep I go or how long those dives are. On a technical side point, when I'm diving, doing tech diving with this computer, I can get about 2 solid weeks of diving, and that's pretty much diving every single day before the computer is too low to actually use safely. And I can simply just plug it up and charge. Takes about 2 hours to do a complete charge. That's if it's on, say, 0. If it's around 40% or so, I'm going to charge it a little bit quicker, around an hour. But it's very easy to do. I can plug it to my computer. I can plug it directly into the wall. Whatever that clip will allow me to plug in, that's what I'm going to plug it into. A couple of things that you can do to make this computer a little bit more user-friendly, and a couple of things that I did to it is, obviously I took this strap off, and on mine I put bungee on it. I find it's a little bit more comfortable. It's easier to deal with if I got big thick gloves or even large dry suit cuffs here. It makes it a lot easier putting it on my dry suit or on those thicker gloves with the bungee. And there's several things that you can do with the bungee. Obviously, you just pull this pin out right here on both sides. Your strap pops right off, and you can use these posts to use the integrated bungee that comes with the computer to simply tie on your bungee. However, Mares also has a clip system very similar to Garmin's that just clips right on, that has bungee already pre-threaded through it. So you're not having to tie knots or anything like that. You just cinch it down to whatever tightness you need. And the cool thing about the bungees, they're depth compensating. So if you're wearing a thicker suit, as you go to depth and that suit compresses because of Boyle's Law, the bungee's going to compress with it. You're not going to have that computer slide around on you like it does with, say, strap systems. And then as you come up, pressure decreases, your suit expands, that bungee's going to expand with you. It's going to make it a little bit more comfortable. And then the last thing I did to mine is I added a screen protector. There is a screen protector that you can get for these. It's the same one that goes with the Quad 2, the Quad Air, and now the Quad CI. They all take the same screen protector. And I would suggest putting it on because I do think that it protects the screen from drops and things like that. But yeah, it's a great computer for recreational and technical diving. Obviously, I use it for all of the above. If you're in the market for a new computer, or if you're new to diving and you want to check out a computer that's going to do everything for you from reading air to nitrox to even trimix, it's a great computer to get in. It's relatively inexpensive compared to other computers, and it does come with a 2-year warranty straight from Mares. So anytime you have any issues, take it to your local Mares dealer. They can get it sent off for you, and most of the time, if Mares can't fix it, they're going to send you a brand new computer anyways. But yeah, it's a great computer. I double it up with the Mares series. Sirius. And another cool little thing is this computer and the Maria Sirius is basically the same computer. So even though one's large, one's small, the functionality is going to work identical to it. And the fact that it's Bluetooth compatible, which means it's going to work with the SSI app or the Mares app. You can go in and do updates. You can change settings on it, or you can simply just download your dives as soon as you get out of the water by connecting it through Bluetooth. But yeah, it's my computer of choice at this point. It's one of my favorite computers, and I think it'll be a good computer for you as well. But let me know down in the comment section below, do you use the Mares Quad CI, and what are some of your favorite features and functionalities of it as well? But guys, that's going to do it for our review. Stay tuned to our next video. We got another review coming out that I really think that you're going to enjoy as well. But until our next one, take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.